In Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, we read these words from Jesus. Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Today on The Truth in Love, we're studying the Golden Rule. I hope you'll stay tuned.
There's a message true and glad for the sinful and the sad. Ring it out, ring it out, ring it out. It will give them courage new, it will help them to be true. Ring it out, ring it out, ring it out, ring it out.
Ring out,
merrily ring
the word,
speeding away,
Lord, man,
message divine,
and see.
send it today.
Still far from Jesus, many live in
Lost
sin.
and those in doubt, darkness and doubt.
My name is Eddie Parrish, and I want to welcome you today to our program. We are in the middle of a series of lessons that we have called Getting Back to Basics. And in this series, we have been studying basic, fundamental principles of Bible teaching. Principles that, in some measure, seem to have been forgotten by many professing Christians. But they're principles that if we will embrace them and obey them to the best of our ability, they could change our lives. And today we come to another of those principles. Have you ever been in a situation in which you are not sure exactly how you should respond or react to another person? Perhaps you are not sure if the Bible has specifically addressed the situation that you find yourself in, and you want to do what's right, but you're just not sure if that particular thing has been talked about in the Word of God. Well, if you ever found yourself in a situation like that, there's a general principle in the New Testament that would govern situations like that. We call it the Golden Rule, where Jesus essentially said, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. It is a very basic principle. But as we look in just a few moments to its application, I think we'll be able to see how this very simple principle has been in large measure forgotten in our day-to-day lives. It's such a simple statement, yet it's so profound. One writer said this about the Golden Rule: never has so much been packed into so few words. And I believe that's true. And so let's spend some time considering this life-changing principle. You know, there have been a lot of people, philosophers, teachers over centuries of time that have given instruction about human conduct. And some of it sounds familiar to what Jesus taught in Matthew 7:12, though a lot of the things that are said that are similar do not really reach the height of the teaching that Jesus gave. I want to spend just a couple of minutes drawing your attention to some of those philosophies and teachings from other religions and from philosophers. Some have called these not the Golden Rule, but maybe the Silver Rules. Some have referred to them as gold-plated rules because they don't quite reach to what Jesus instructed. But here are some of these philosophies, and you see if you can tell the subtle difference between what these people said and what Jesus instructed. From one of the from some of the writings of the Hindus, we have this statement: do not to others which, if done to thee, would cause thee pain. Or from Buddhism, hurt not others with that which pains yourself. Or Jewish tradition stated, what is hateful to you, do not to your fellow man. This from the Baha'i faith, he should not wish for others that which he doth not wish for himself. Pittacus of Lesbos, a philosopher of the past, said, do not that to thy neighbor that thou wouldst not suffer from him. Confucius said, what you do not want others to do to you, do not do to others. Isocrates said, "Do not do unto others what angers you if done to you by others." Now, in listening to all of those principles, first of all, let me say that there is not anything objectionable in those principles, but there is a subtle difference in what those people have said and with what Jesus said. You see, all of those principles approached human conduct from what we might call a negative perspective. In other words, don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. You know, you could live by that principle and never do one good thing for any person all of your life. You see, that principle basically says just as long as you don't do anything bad to someone else, then that's fine. But Jesus called upon His followers to go beyond that. The Golden Rule would certainly encompass what those other philosophies said in not doing to others what you don't want done to yourself, but it encompasses more than that. The Lord wants us to be proactive and to actively do for others what we would have others to do for ourselves. And so there's a subtle difference, but it's an important difference, because it calls upon us to be actively involved in doing good for other people. It's a basic principle, a fundamental principle of New Testament Christianity, and yet somehow it has been forgotten and not applied as it should be applied. And we are going to turn our attention now to some examples in which we might apply the Golden Rule. There's nothing difficult to understand about the rule itself. It's not hard to grasp. Treat others the way you want to be treated. The difficulty often comes in the application. And so let's try to make it practical. And what I want to do in the time that we have remaining is to call attention to a few areas of human conduct that we can easily apply this principle. And these are areas in which we recognize the way we would like to be treated, but we don't always treat others that same way. So let's consider, first of all, if I want to be able to trust someone else, and if I want to be able to confide in someone else, then I must first show myself to be trustworthy, and I must show myself to be the kind of person that will not betray a confidence. You see, I want others I want to be able to confide in someone else, so I need to be one that can be confided in. Proverbs 25:9 says, "Do not reveal another's secrets." Proverbs 11, verse 13, "He who is trustworthy in spirit keeps a secret covered." Well, if that's what I want from someone else, then I have to show myself to be that kind of person too. If I want to be accurately quoted and accurately represented in the things that I say, in the things that I teach, then I need to make sure that I accurately represent others and that I don't misrepresent what other people say. That can sometimes be a big problem. And if we would practice the Golden Rule, then misrepresentation, mischaracterization, misquotation, all of that would be a thing of the past. If I would like for others to give me the benefit of the doubt, if I would like for others to think the best of me even when I make mistakes, and who doesn't want that to be the case, then I need to show myself to be willing to give the benefit of the doubt to other people. It's a very simple concept. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7 says, "Love believes all things." Now, that doesn't mean that love is gullible. It simply means that the person who truly loves is the person who will put the best possible spin on the actions of another when there may be some doubt as to the motives of those actions. We are often so quick to jump to conclusions and so quick to assign to others motives for their actions when we don't have the foggiest idea what their motives are. We're just very quick to jump to the conclusion that what anybody does, they do it for malicious reasons.